Question number 3. The diameter of a metallic ball is 4.2 centimeter. What is the mass of the ball if the density of the ball is 8.9 gram per centimeter cube? So before we get into the question, let us understand mass, density and volume, right? What do they actually mean? So mass is what an object is made up of. All right, so consider this metallic ball and this rubber. Are they made the same way? No, right? They are made differently. So in other words, mass will also give us the lightness or the heaviness of an object. Now let's talk about weight, right? So remember that mass and weight are not the same. All right, what is weight? Weight is experienced due to gravity. All right, that's why you will notice that when the astronauts, when they go up in space, they experience weightlessness, right? But has their mass changed? No, they're still the same. All right, now when it comes to volume, pretty simple. The space occupied by an object, right? That is known as your volume. What is density again? So for density, the best example will be ice and water. So when you watch those movies and everything, even documentaries and all, you must have seen that ice floods on water. So why do you think that happens? Ice floods because the density of the ice is lesser than the density of the water. All right, same thing with oil and water, right? When you try to mix them together, they will not mix, and you will notice that the oil floods above the water. This is because the density of the oil is lesser than the density of the water. All right, the molecules are not tightly packed. Okay, last example. If I ask you that, do you want to be hit by a metallic ball or a rubber ball? I'm sure everyone's going to choose a rubber ball, right? Why? Because indeed the metallic ball has more density. That means the molecules are tightly packed. Okay, but when you look at this rubber ball, the molecules are loosely packed. All right, so remember the relationship between density, mass and volume. Okay, density equals mass by volume. All right, now let's get back to the question. They told us to find what is the mass of the object, right? So when you look at the formula, density equals mass by volume, right? So they've given us a density. We also find this mass, so let us first try to find the volume. All right, once we know that, we just have to put it directly here, right? So diameter given and radius is half, right? So 2.1. So like I said, first find the volume of the sphere. So 4/3 pi r cube, right? Radius is how much? 2.1. So I've already put the value for us there. Then 7 on the 7 3 0.3 2.1, right? 3, then 3 0.7, right? We can't do any more, so you multiply all. We're going to get the volume to be equal to 38.80. You can see that they've given us the density of the ball is how much? 8.9, right? So if I try to arrange it accordingly, then I'll get mass equals density into volume. All right, so density I know, volume I know. You multiply and we're going to get the mass of the metallic ball to be equal to 345.39 gram. All right, next question. The diameter of the moon is approximately 1/4 the diameter of the earth. What fraction of volume of the earth is to the volume of the moon? That means we just have to divide them. All right, so I'm taking the diameter of the earth to be equal to x. This is earth and then this is the moon. All right, so if I take the diameter of the earth, right, to be x, then radius will be x by 2, and of course capital R here, right? Now let's also try to find the diameter of the moon. What did this say? The diameter of the moon is approximately 1/4 the diameter of the earth, right? So you can see 1/4 diameter of the earth. So diameter of the earth is what? We took it to be x, right? When I multiply, I'm going to get the diameter of the moon to be equal to x by 4. Now let us also try to find the radius, right? So radius is what? Simply diameter divided by 2, right? So diameter, how much we got for the moon? X by 4. So you can see here, and then 2 is there because we have to divide by 2, right? Now change this division into multiplication, right? Nothing happens to the x by 4, it's still the same, but this 2 will go down. So you can see it's in the denominator, right? Then x into 1x, 4 to the x. So now we have got both. Now we just have to put it, find the volume of the moon to the volume of the earth, right? Formula is very simple. They are both, considering that they are both a sphere, all right? So 4/3 pi r cube divided by 4/3 pi capital R cube. So let's divide. You can see that I can divide 4/3 pi and pi, right? So I'll be simply left with both the radius. So radius of the moon is what? X by 8. Radius of the earth is x by 2, right? So now once again, I'll change this division into multiplication. That means nothing happens to the first, but the lower they will change their position, right? So 2 will go up, x will come down. You can already see here, right? So if you look at this, it will be something like this, right? X cubed by 8 cube multiplied by 2 cube by x cube, which means I can divide this x cube and x cube. So I'll be remaining with what? 2 cube and 8 cube, right? So 2 cube simply means 2 multiplied 3 times. So you can see 2 into 2 into 2. Same thing with 8 cube, 8 into 8 into 8, and 2 4s are 2 4s are 2 4s are. So I'll have 3 4s, right? 4 4s are 16, 16 4s are 64. So if I try to find the ratio between them, it will be 1/1:64, right? So you can notice here, I'm taking this volume of the earth to the other side, it will become 1/64 volume of the moon, which means in simple term what? Volume of the earth will be 64 times more than the volume of the moon. Why? Because see, volume of the moon is how much? Just 1/64, right? Out of the 64 is just one time, right? So in simple, we understand the volume of the earth is 64 times more than the volume of the moon. Let's do one more. How many liters of milk can a hemispherical bowl of diameter 10.5 centimeter hold, right? So just have to find the volume. Diameter given, radius is divided by 2. So 10.5 divided by 2, we just have to simply put it in the formula, volume of the hemisphere. So sphere was 4/3, hemisphere is half, right? So 2/3 pi r cube, right? So you can say put the values here for us. Then 2 1s are 2 1s are, then 2 1s are 2 11s are, 3 1s are 3, 3 3s are 9, then 1 in 9, 3 5s are 50, and then 7 is 7, 7 is 7, then 7 5s are 35, right? So I'll be having what, 11 and 3.5 into 1.5 and 10.5 divided by 2. So when I multiply the numerator, I'll get 606.375 divided by 2, and when you divide, we're going to get what? 303.187 centimeter cube. But they told us liters, right? So we know that 1000 centimeter equals 1 liter. And remember, you're going from smaller to the bigger. That's why it has to be divided, right? So when you divide, we're going to get how much it can hold then? 0.303 liter approximately.